And there's so much time to make up everywhere we turn. Time we have wasted on the way. That was a song request from someone. That's Crosby, Still and Nash. It's three people, it makes up the band. I think the song is interesting if you think about it. For me, I think about this stuff all the time. I mean, a lot of you probably think just like I do. You're probably sentimental about stuff, and who knows? I don't know what you guys are thinking or what I'm thinking. I know that I think most of the time, like, I try to think about my children. I think about my kids. I think about my wife. I want them to be safe. I don't want them to have anything happen to them. I don't want anything to happen to me. I think about that a lot. Lost a lot of friends this past year. A lot of friends. And I swear I'm being haunted by ghosts. But that's another story, another topic for another time. There's bad stuff happening. Lots of bad stuff happening. And out of the bad stuff, I got to tell you, there's a community of people that's really pulled through. See, we've had so many events take place in our little area, and it's just strange, but I think about that song was recommended, and I was thinking, like, from the lyrics, he's like, I'm older now, I've 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 accumulated and been, I've gathered up who I am. I've done enough, but I like to do more and make use of my time, kind of thing. If you think about it like that, it's like, see, me, I think one of my biggest things that I kept telling the wife about was like the kids. And we have 4 kids, and I was almost thinking of making like a video message for them, like as time goes on, like it's like, hi, kind of thing, but like something like a memorandum kind of thing. I don't know how you would say it, like a video log for them, but I think they've got enough video logs of me for now. But anyway, my thought on that. Government's still shut down. It's going to stay shut down. Please share if you haven't shared. The government's still shut down. It's still going to stay shut down. It's going to keep doing that. And it's not coming back on. And that welfare has ceased. And I was telling people that had ceased a while ago, and people didn't believe me. That were just like, yeah, no, they come up with the money for that. No, they did not. No, they didn't. And a lot of these other programs are run up like a year in advance. Like for those of you out there with VA benefits and stuff, that stuff keeps going. And for those of you that worry about stuff like that, some of these other programs, they still run. But the other ones, the other government assistance programs, they're all died off. And that started about the 15th. They were coming up with last minute budget money for like the troops on the 15th. And then I think from then on out, it's probably going to be promissory payments. So there's not going to be a lot getting done. And with the government being closed, we have bigger problems and people ask, like, well, hey, what's bad? People ask me, what's bad about the government being shut down? It's like, well, what's good? What's good about the government being shut? It's like, oh man, it's great. They're shut down. And look at the sky. Have you noticed there's no chemtrails and all this stuff? The thing is that when people lose their government assistance, some folks, they try to get the assistant in other ways. And that could mean there's other folks that do rob and steal. And that's what we're seeing now. It's already hard times. And then you take it and you push it to even harder times. And then it's like max. And people don't care. And you think like the bad guy cares, like he doesn't care about if the threats. Like cops can take people to jail, right? You think like that. It's like, hey, a cop can take them to jail, and they're not really worried about that. And what are they going to do? They're going to go to jail? So what? They don't care about that stuff. There's no consequences for them. Some people are just robbing people, you know, but the other people that don't, people who don't carry, you know, it bothers me. It just, people should carry. People should have a gun on them if something happens. And there's so many people who just, man, they just fight me to death about this. Well, you know, it's like, dude, get some training, you know, protect yourself. They're going to be scared of you because they're going to be scared of death. At some point, they're going to die. Some people just don't care. You know, they just don't care. They'll just die anyways. People out here getting their houses broke into. I was just talking about this the other day. It's happened. Middle of the night, man. I mean, middle of the night. I mean, we've got full security cameras everywhere, and most of the folks out here, they've gone with security cameras because people have lost stuff out here. I've had a vehicle stolen, and my neighbors, they've been broken into, and there's so many other things. Like there's like these vehicles driving around. They wait till everyone's sleeping and they drive around late at night. And see, we're out in the sticks. It's out in a rural area, and when you're out in the sticks, they get away with a lot more. They can snoop around more and find things, and that's what you need to be worried about. You need to start preparing for these folks. If you live in a city, that's worse. I mean, you've got all kinds of people just stealing stuff all the time, but you need to keep your guard up and your head on swivel. Stay frosty in the cities for real. But it's just getting to the point now. It's like people have grown accustomed to things are just normal all the time. You know, well, we live out in the country. Nobody's coming out here. Well, they are now. They are. And they're driving out to the country, and they're driving around and looking for things that they can steal and things that they can sell, things that are not bolted down and stuff that they can grab. I've known about it a lot longer than some of the folks that are out here because I've had to deal with it before. And some folks are just now starting to get on board. But we went through, after the hurricane ordeal, the flooding, the bridges and everything being taken out, all the power being down for so many weeks, no running water for weeks. Experiencing those types of things and seeing the community pull together like they did. And there's so many people that are naysayers to what I say about community, how community could pull together and become friends. And some people are just, I don't see that happening. I see my neighbor coming over here and trying to kill me. That's the kind of stuff that I hear from other folks, but I don't see it that way all the time. It depends. It depends on your situation. Really, it does. And some people will pull together in a tragedy, in a serious situation, some type of disaster, and then afterwards they'll disperse. They'll go their separate ways then. Well, it's over now. We don't have to be buddies with him anymore. That kind of thing. Those are some situations that do happen. But in times like these where we find ourselves on the phones with our neighbors and trying to, make sure that we have some sort of same sheet of music. Hey, look, if you keep an eye out for me, I'll keep an eye out for you. And okay, all right, well, we can do that. And a lot of folks don't want to, it's going to cost you big time if you don't work with your neighbor. If you don't love your neighbor and don't work with your neighbor, it's going to cost you. And you'll find out the hard way. It's not going to be easy. You're going to have to try and get along with everyone, and it's just the way it is. Even if you don't see eye to eye on stuff. But I don't really know what I don't see eye to eye with people, honestly. Because I don't really get in-depth conversations with that sort of thing. I just roll with it. Preparedness. That's one of the things for preparedness. You have to be ready for that sort of thing. When society turns upside down, you need to be ready for that. It's not just, hey, well, we do EDC, your everyday carry, you've got to have a pistol and all this stuff. It's like, well, okay, you probably should have some type of weapons to protect yourself. You should. It's just a fact. Security. You should have some type of security. Get a dog. You know how many dogs are at the pound that need a home? There's so many. There's so many, and they're great dogs. A lot of them are great dogs. I've got a few of them. The dog named Dog that I had for many years, he passed a couple of years ago. I had him that long. He was a pound puppy. And boy, he was a big old dog. Akita mix. He was scary. Black as night. Scary. Had them crazy eyes. Man, I don't know what it was. There was no, like, pit bulls and all the other vicious creatures of the land were terrified of him. He showed up and he just looked like a hellhound. He was a scary dog. But people were afraid of him. But he was a really good dog. He was real loyal, real listened. Like, hey, dog, come here. He would jump in the truck. Good dog. I have a special place for dogs for me, but this is coming from the guy that has 4 dogs. I have 4 huge, massive monster dogs. They're huge. Cane Corsos. Got a whole bunch. I gave a few of them out to subscribers that watch the channel. Hey, we're getting rid of some dogs. Had some puppies. We had puppies so that we could have more dogs. So, security, you need them. But with the way things are going, the government's not turning back on. And if you haven't seen it yet, I would go ahead and prepare yourself for it. If you live in those little rural areas, or even if you live in the cities or your suburbs or whatever, you start seeing some strange, unusual vehicles creeping around, driving slow, looking at stuff. They're looking for stuff is what they're looking for. Looking for something that's not bolted down, something that they can cash in and get their fix. So you keep that in mind. Some of them might just want to pay their rent, but one way or another, they're looking for something that ain't theirs, and they're going to take it so that they get the money they need. Because some folks, they'd rather steal than find that great job. I know there's a few jobs out there. I mean, there's plenty. Folks around here are always looking for work, but they just won't go do that. They would rather go get that money the easy way, steal it, and then get their fix. Just like that. It's bad though. And a lot of these areas are starting to pop up with more houses. So ready for that. But that is what I needed to tell you today, because it's important that you focus on your community and try to go nudge shoulders with your neighbor or something. Say, hey, in case things ever get bad around here, I just want you to know that I've got your back, and I hope that you've got my back too, and that we can be friends. And that's really something simple that you can do. They might not expect it. They won't even know how to react. And some might even just say, man, I've been wanting you to ask me that for a long time. But all right. Please share, and God bless y'all, and take care.